What is up, everyone, and thank you for joining us at 10:40 p.m. on a Saturday night.
All right. Well, can you hear me now? I think they can hear me now. Derek, do you talk? Okay. You guys, can you
Hello.
hear us both? I'm giving them a
We
second
hear
for the
Derek, no
delay.
tie. We hear Derek, no tie. That's what Adam just said.
Yep. But that was I got to give him like 30 seconds for just to make sure. All right, he can hear now. All right, guys, thanks. Like we said, it's been a minute, so we had everything shut down. We got it out of the mothballs. Let us know if things are going wrong. As I was trying to say, now you seeing us on a Saturday night, that can't be anything too good, or it's something really good. And unfortunately, we got something in the not too good camp. Since you didn't register, this is Emergency Pod number 1, episode 101 of the LA Poker Roundup. So let's just get right into it. For those of you who are really plugged in to the LA poker scene, who follow all of the big players in the LA poker scene on Twitter already or watching our stuff, you no doubt have seen this. Huge news. Kevin posting. He is out at Commerce. He is no longer with Commerce. Moving forward, he's wishes success to everyone there. And, this is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
he only started there after the LAPC this year, right? So that was like March, like the very end of the LAPC or after it. So March, mid March or something. And now we're only here in November, about to hit the circuit, the second circuit event of the year. Pretty much one of the biggest things they do at Commerce, and he is gone right now. This is out of left field. This was really shocking to hear this morning. See Jeremy there in the comments. First comment on this thing. Jeremy's the one that broke the news to myself. He let me and Derek know. I was actually driving down to the Commerce to play in the daily today, hoping to see Kevin down there, when I was informed that he will not be there at all. Man, Derek, what is your first impression when you heard that? What was your first thought?
It was unbelievable. My jaw just absolutely dropped. We were making Shohei and Luca analogies, right, when Kevin signed, and less than a year he's out, and there was so much hope, right, for the Commerce. Finally, we finally got like a really good poker head,
Yeah,
at the top. Not that DJ wasn't, but we
yeah. No,
finally after
DJ
a
was
long
great.
time.
I mean,
Oh, not having a TD for so long, and then just landing Cabin of all people, it was going to be the golden era of LA poker, and now, wow, what happened?
yeah, I mean that's what struck me. Is like Commerce just keeps like getting the best tournament directors we've got, some of the best folks we got in LA, in the LA industry, and they just keep burning them out somehow, and it's incredible. As Kevin mentioned in the post here, it's not like he wasn't doing a great job. I mean, the dailies there
Yeah.
were setting records every single weekend. During the World Series, I remember I'd go there and the daily would get 250, 260, 270 entries, like just for not a series, just like it's just a Saturday tournament, just go fill up the entire side of the room. I mean, this is crazy. Now, I wish I could say it was a surprise on a big level, because it's not a surprise that Commerce got rid of their directors. We've seen this is not the first time, but what was surprise is he went over there not even 7 months ago, 8 months ago, and it wasn't like there was negotiations. From what I heard, like he got a bunch of guarantees or assurances, like, hey, you're going to be able to have this much leeway, you're going to have this much freedom, we're going to let you do your job the way you want to do it, right? And for them to just, I don't know, give up, quit, like go back on that so quickly, like What the heck? Oh, now Evan, we'll talk about the Mega Millions a little near the end. There's always drama. They were calling just like I think they did this last time, the last series as well. But they were calling overlay alert in like the second flight. But that alert is still going out. We'll cover that later though. We're talking about commerce
Yeah.
right now. We're talking about Kevin right now. Um, and yeah, like
I mean, he had to have exceeded every single possible metric you could have thrown at him. Because I mean, we every week we're just like, what the heck is happening with these dailies? How many people is
yeah,
it? What was first place? That's just out of bounds. And I think the craziest thing, other than the actual news and just sort of the short tenure that he had at Commerce, this happened right before the World Series of Poker circuit event of all like times to whatever. I mean, I at this point I don't know if we have like a clear understanding of like what actually happened and what actually went down, but to do it right before the circuit event when the TD is so important, you're trying to rep the World Series of Poker at your casino, and the World Series of Poker is the biggest operator that we have, and then
yeah,
you're gonna what? Like, I don't understand anything that they do.
right. So we've covered now all of the facts. We know Kevin's post, he's out. We have speculation on whether he was let go or he decided to go, but that's neither here nor there. We are now going to enter squarely into our observations and our speculation and our thoughts on commerce as far as what we've seen from the history of commerce as a how they seem to be treating the tournaments, right? So from here on forwards, this is just us. Maybe we're venting, but I'd like to think we're venting on the behalf of the poker community. Maybe you can get a
And on
little
the constructive side, right? We,
right.
we just
Well,
want to know
that's,
what's best. Yeah.
I'll try to be constructive, but it'll be on the side of cathartic. Maybe it'll be a little cathartic for some of you listening, because man, commerce, right? So the other reason this isn't incredibly surprising is, as you all noticed and you may have seen, for the Hold'em series, Frank did not have like any coverage going up.
Yep. Yep.
The avalanche of coverage and photos gone. Why? Well, because he wasn't able to get a press pass like he had been for like the prior year. You'll also notice that there really weren't a lot of pictures or posts about the Commerce Hold'em series anywhere. The Commerce had a vlog or a blog. They had a blog. They had Commerce. I forgot the URL, but it was like Commerce Poker Blog, just like the bike has their poker blog, which we appreciate a lot. And there was nothing there, not a single post about it. There hasn't been. If you go to that blog right now, which I'll try and bring up, there has not been a post to that thing since the end of the circuit when Poker Org was here. So that's been dead. And if you also notice, there haven't been any winners posted. There hasn't been anything. And, I think we may have mentioned this before. And if not, the other thing we knew was that they had pretty much downsized, axed, or basically ceased all social media marketing for poker. And I don't watch Commerce site for anything else because Cairo had his contract was either not renewed or he wasn't. He stopped doing stuff for them, right? So, and he was like the big contributor to the blog and doing all the posts. So they shut it all down, right? No marketing, no getting the word out, no nothing. And Kevin, as you know, we've been like puzzled by it and also noticing it. He seems to have been kind of gagged as far as doing promotions, because as you all know, when he was at the Gardens, he was constantly promoting the events there, posting the winners, doing videos, trying to get people come out. And he hasn't been able to do anything like that when he was at Commerce. So it's just all blah.
It's inexplicable because I mean, Kevin is not. You're not paying him more to post on social media. Like, and Twitter posts don't cost anything.
Right.
Like, why would you even stop that? Like, none of that ever makes any sense, right? Like, if you're gonna be running it, then fucking promote it.
Right.
And then to put it like an embargo on promoting your own tournaments, like, are you trying to like purposely sync them? Like, what's going through your minds? Like, I totally get holding your team and your departments accountable for budget and making sure they're following, very strict guidelines on what, being very diligent about what they're spending on. But to do like the basics of like, they had that Bally's that stream. They didn't even mention who was at the final table, right? They didn't even mention chip counts, nothing. Like Elvin was there, right? It was crazy.
Yeah, if
And I
these
just feel
casinos
like
had played along with us, they could have built Elvin into someone people wanted to watch, and then he finals table is
I
your big
know.
event. Like you have it
The
all
the guy's
packaged
out
for
there,
you.
like NAPT, everything, like doing all these things, like WPT, making final tables left and right. Like that's the guy that you want to kind of put front and center, and you just didn't do any of it. And it's kind of crazy. I feel like we just keep yelling into the wind, and it's you know, it it's like when the bike sometimes does stuff we don't agree with, we can sort of squint our eyes and then sort of logically see, okay, so we don't agree, but at least, this is probably what they're trying to do. Like we actually just don't understand what the commerce is doing.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put my cynical hat on in about 10 minutes, and I'll try and cynically understand what they're doing. But yeah, that's the whole point. The guy's been, Kevin is the best self promoter for these tournaments anyway. He's killing it, and you only give him
Yeah.
7 months. Look, the only reason, like, you can't, the marketing that they had done was so haphazard and random. Like, it seemed like there's no plan, like before Kevin came in and right in the beginning, and then you can't expect to get results from your advertising, your marketing in like a week, in like a day, right? You can't
Right.
be like, oh, we threw 50 grand at marketing this event. I don't see a change. Didn't get any bigger next week. Like, you can't do that. You have to market a year ahead of
Marketing,
time, 6 months
marketing
ahead of
is
time, consistently.
yeah.
The
Marketing is a long game,
yeah.
and that shouldn't be anything that we would need to explain to anyone,
Yeah, and
right?
the
Like that's
first
just it.
couple of times you run a series like the circuit here, like, it's gonna start. It should kind of be big, and then maybe it'll go a little low, and then it'll grow again as it becomes a fixture, right? The only reason that the LAPC is still going pretty strong past WPT is just because it's been here for so long. Everyone actually knows about it. The people I play with in that, they know it's happening. They know the tournaments happen. Then they don't. The new players, they never really even knew it was a WPT. They just know there's tournaments at Commerce in January. You have to have that consistency so people can know what to count on. Like, hey, hey, it's May. There's gonna be a nice, I can play the circuit at Commerce before the World Series. Like, 1 year isn't gonna get that done. You need to keep doing it consistently if you're going to try and do that, like, free marketing business, right? That's what LAPC has. People come because they know it's there. And thankfully, I've heard from multiple sources that the LAPC for next year has been approved. I don't know if that means they can't renege on it, but like, that means it's been approved. The schedule dates exist. So like, that looks like it's going to happen. But once again, they're going to do an LAPC with no tournament director. It looks like run an
I
entire
don't even. I
LAPC, no
don't
tournament
even.
director, just like before, which was a disaster.
I have very little faith in LAPC at this point. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I don't already like the schedule they had this year. I don't think we were like 100% like thrilled with it. Like, I can't even imagine what happens if Kevin's not even there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. Without Kevin, without a tournament director running, the whole reason Kevin showed up is because the bigger events near the end of the schedule were drawing so much attention for how crazy things were, like Conrad yelling in the halls and everyone, that they had to bring in people, right?
Right.
Wasn't that event? I
And
think that was that event.
And it's different if, like, like the higher ups or the executives were in contact with the community, right? So like we at least we had some voice directly there that didn't have to go through Cabin or somebody, but we don't, right? It's just like a black hole,
Yeah, it's
right?
absolutely.
And when you remove Cabin from it, it's not like the rest of the floor people and everything. They're not great. We love them all. We think they're fantastic. But to have you kind of need somebody at the Cabin level
Yeah.
from a poker strategy perspective and a poker understanding and ecosystem perspective to know like what to do with all these like different things and how to run events and stuff like that and what events to put up. um, I feel like none of us have a voice with them, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, and we freaking have those floor guys. We love them. They do their job, but they all refused to try and take DJ's job / Kevin's job. They all refused to jump into that role because they knew this is the kind of politics that happens. They know this is the kind of thing they start putting on you. They know that it's just no win. So they're just there to run the events and do their job that way. Yeah. So Norm will definitely have some thoughts on how we should behave as a community after this. But I overall definitely with you. We need to vote with our wallets. But they put us in such an awful. Well, I'll get to it later. They just put us in a really tough spot when they do stuff like this. But speaking of that kind of thing, right before, after the Hold'em series, those few weeks when they had no dailies, that was really distressing, right? They were this big meeting. They decided not to have dailies. Kevin managed to get them to open the dailies back up, and now he's gone. Dailies only for a week. Will there be dailies going forward? I don't know. But what really concerns me here is that the Commerce is, I believe, really the only casino, because the bike is not this way, where the tournament floors, right? The tournament dealers, they're at Commerce year round. That's like their year round job. They rely on that as their year round job. Whereas at the bike, those dealers are rotating. They know they've only got a couple months and they got to find something else to do. The Gardens, they bring their tournament dealers in too, I believe. All the other places that run like the larger events, those that's not like their spot. But like there are there are a lot of dealers. I've heard there's like 20-ish dealers, and then the floor like Hunsky and those guys. That's their year-round gig. So what are they going to do if all of a sudden now there's no dailies? Now we're going to scale back on tournaments. Now we're going to do this and that. Like what is going to happen to these people? What is Commerce's plan for them? I really hope that if this is the direction they're going, that they've given them options. Like, hey, you want to become baccarat dealers also on this during the off season. You want to do you want to deal some of these other games. You want to be cash dealers, which a lot of tournament dealers say they don't want to be cash dealers because if they think people think tournament players treat dealers badly, cash players are the worst. You let somebody tip somebody money and all of a sudden they think they own them, right? It's just a lot of these tournament dealers don't want to go back to dealing cash, but like, man, just to drop this kind of stuff and just start beating them, it's just I worry about what's going to happen to the rest of the staff, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, Z Zhang making an interesting comment here. Is that a typo? You saying that the dealers think that Captain is not a good TD? So go ahead and articulate what you mean by that in chat, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, definitely expand on that, G, because as far as players go,
And
we couldn't disagree more. And all the dealers I've heard, I've never heard a dealer complain about them. Yeah, so to step back a little more, right? More speculation. We've seen this happen before, right? It happened with DJ, happened during COVID. Every time that the execs look at the books or try to maximize, it seems like poker gets destroyed. And, we always mention this, all of the casinos, we all know poker's on the low end of the totem pole for casinos. We all know tournaments are even lower on the totem pole for casinos. Commerce has had another shakeup at management, which they seem to have every 2 years or so. I have no idea what their books look like, but what I've heard is somebody got in there and started looking at the books, and my guess is it's someone who doesn't recognize. It's kind of basically the same people who probably I've seen you complain about this constantly about Vegas, right? It's the same people who looked at the books at the Vegas casinos. We need to maximize our dollars. Let me look. Where are we losing the most money? Cut that shit. Where can we make and squeeze some more money? Raise that shit. Where are we doing the most money in? That's what we're going to focus on, and only that. So before you know it, their plan is to have nothing but an entire casino full of baccarat tables, right? Nothing but an entire casino full of blackjack tables or something. Like, look, guys, you can't. This is the thing that's killing. This is the problem with quarterly reports in the stock market. You kill companies when all you do is min max each quarter. When you min max each
Right.
line item. When all you see is I make the most money in baccarat. I need to move towards a plan that eventually has us being 100% baccarat. Nobody will come to your freaking casino just to play baccarat, except for that small group of baccarat players, and there won't be anyone else around. Like you won't be able to get any new growth. You won't be able to get any side action there. You
People
won't be
won't
able to any
travel.
excitement. You won't be able to get people to come. Yeah, exactly.
People aren't going to travel to the Commerce to play
Yeah,
baccarat from Florida or something,
and
right? That's not going to happen.
I've heard
Yeah.
that Commerce is also stopping. I don't know about this. Someone also, like I said, total speculation. Someone told me they're going to stop their events that they do in the tent, like the fights and the concerts and stuff. Which, if that's true, that seems like a complete disaster. Like I've complained multiple times how you cannot park at the Commerce on a weekend after like 5 or 6, and I think a lot of it had to do with those events. So if they stop those, like, why do you not want people to come to your place? Like, and those especially if it's a concert or something, like those seem of like the kind of place you could charge a little extra money if you're like, oh well, we're breaking
Yeah.
even there. Okay, charge an extra like 5%, whatever. That's totally different than charging tournament players an extra 5-10%. Like that doesn't destroy the
It,
game.
The interesting thing too is like even on the weekends, it's not like every single seat at every baccarat table is at capacity, right? So what are you doing? You're gonna open up the ballroom to, and like, are you actually gonna put baccarat tables in the ballroom, or isn't the ballroom for events, right? So why wouldn't you just run tournaments and have tournament players come every single time there's a break? You probably have more people buying food than you have like all freaking week, right? Because all the tournament players like get online, get food, they order their own on the app. I'm pretty sure, probably a good 10% of them are out there, spitting some money at the tables. So you're definitely getting some ancillary, side like revenue from that on top of the tournament rate that you're already collecting, on top of the fact that you are like, bringing new people into the casino. Crazy. And like even the WSOP event, like that was kind of, I mean, I'm pretty sure they worked really hard behind the scenes to get that all done, but that could have been like a huge gift, right? Because the WSOP isn't about just trying to optimize for one tournament. Like you're going to bring in probably 40% new bodies that are coming to go ring chasing, right? And then you have an opportunity to convert those people into LAPC players and even baccarat players, right? But where was that like effort? Where was that the marketing for that? Like I just don't,
Shoot, Derek, we're
man.
getting reports of really bad audio issues going on right here.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. Look, guys, let us know. Is it getting worse? I have unfortunately, it's been a bad habit of my internet to reset itself once a night lately. It doesn't look like we've dropped though, so we're gonna keep going. Apologies there. Hopefully it comes back strong here. It looks like. I mean, I'm not seeing any connection problems registering on my setup here, so um,
Hmm.
yeah, I
So
just
maybe
wanted to
just
like right just while you were talking there, people were complaining about it, so I wanted to make sure we paused a sec. All right, sorry. I hope I didn't break your momentum too much. You're talking about we're getting new body like the circuit's supposed to get us new bodies, and it did. That first one brought in
yeah,
so many people from
yeah.
everywhere,
So
and
what
if
I'm
you gave them a
basically
good
saying
time,
is
right?
when you bring in WSOP, WPT, even, MSPT, you're going to just bring in a good 10, 20, 40% new people, right? And then those are the people that you want to convert into your next event. So you should be promoting the next event there. Like, hey, in 2 months, 1.5 months, we have $1 million guarantee, 1K event. Make sure you come back for it, right? We have Baccarat specials. I don't know what, like
Yeah,
promotions or
whatever.
whatever,
Yeah,
right? We have
whatever. No,
whatever it is, right?
I
Promoting left and right, but I just feel like they kind of weren't doing that. And then now it's almost like when you kind of look at how all of this is constructed, like you bring in WSOP players, there is promotion and marketing and all this effort you have to put around to like actually outreaching those people and making sure they come back, right? You should probably even be having staff like trying to approach people they haven't seen before and talk to them, right? To try to get them to come back. I feel like the effort wasn't made there, or maybe just people weren't like thinking about it or doing it. And then on top of that, and killing your marketing in the middle of all this is going on. And then it's almost like hand waving and saying, well, poker tournaments aren't working,
yeah,
right? Like, but there's so much that you could have done to make them work, and Kevin had to fight to stop the stupid double verification of like
for the
IDs,
buy-in,
right?
yeah.
So that the line didn't take forever, right? So it just I feel like you're constantly fighting this uphill battle on decision making that kind of doesn't make any sense. And then they're chalking off like this poor performance to like tournaments are no good, right? Man, it's just so backwards.
Yeah, and on that, I actually heard somebody, some of the floor there, they wanted to do the things you're talking about. I heard someone said they floated. I don't know who they talked to, but they told me, hey, the guy's like, hey, I brought up this idea, and this was before Kevin even came in, when the DJ spot was still open, when the tournament director spot was still open. He said, hey, I floated this idea. Why don't we give away like vouchers and we collect email addresses like for food? Like, hey, here's a food voucher, but give us your email address. At that circuit when there's all these new names, and then we'd have a mailing list, and then we could start
Yeah,
mailing all these
right.
new emails. And he was shot down.
Okay,
He said he was
it's like
shot down. They
marketing.
said, don't do it. We're not doing it.
It's
Like,
like marketing 101, and it's like why would you say no to that? Like what like really think about this for a minute,
yeah.
right? Is there a cost? There's no cost to it.
Well,
There's
the
absolutely no
cost in
cost
this
to it.
case would have been like a $10 food voucher. Oh my god, right?
But I mean, like what
Like
like
what the hell?
is there a risk to your brand? Is there I mean, like when you hear stuff like that, if I'm working there, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I don't know what I'm allowed to do.
Yeah.
Like what like am I gonna do something that seems like super basic that anybody else would do, and all of a sudden I'm gonna get yelled at for it because I don't know why, right? There's no explanation why.
No,
Oh man.
absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, you hear, I hear, it seems like I hear every series, oh, those guys are mad at you about something, right? And this is the most fired up I've ever, and we're always so objective, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, right? This is the only time, this is the
Yeah.
first time we've been this fired up about this, but every time somebody's mad at you, man, I'm like, all right, whatever. All I said were whatever the facts we saw, and I said maybe you guys could have tried a little harder with this one thing, but, um, and it's, it's mind-boggling. It almost feels like they want it to fail, like you said earlier, right? It's like, oh no, don't do that. More people might come, right? It's like, oh, don't do that. Like,
Yeah. It just feel like that. I don't know what the other explanation is because it's out of any sort of explicable reason why any of those things, the things that aren't happening. Like I don't like there's
well,
no explanation for it.
clearly, I mean, look, they went all out and they paid Jamie Gold who knows how much money, probably,
Right.
I bet over 50 grand, and that clearly didn't work. I mean, the place didn't set new records. It's not like we didn't have like a $2.5 million tournament like that first series or anything. It's not like
You,
we
you,
aren't
you, you,
killing guarantees every time. Obviously it's a lost cause. I mean, if Jamie Gold can't fill the whole casino up, then like What are we gonna
It's
do?
a really that's a really good example of something, right? Like they all got into a room somewhere. I thought it was a fantastic idea to throw money at Jamie Gold of all people. Go ahead and poll 20 poker players in LA. They would have been like, "That's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
Don't fucking do that." Right?
I think every single reg was like laughing. They're laughing. Just we all were laughing, right? And I honestly don't think I heard a rec say like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's a great idea." I've heard them say I've heard of him, but I didn't hear any of them say I need to meet him, right? Like if you got like a moneymaker, sure. There people would be like, "Yeah, I got to come meet him." But like I don't think I heard anyone say, "Yeah, I'm here because they got Jamie." I heard them say, "Oh, yeah, I know. I remember who Jamie was." Like
You know what? Like they should have thrown that money at Barry Greenstein. Like
yeah,
that would have
yeah,
been better.
yeah, he bring him with his books again, have him do a signing. Like, whatever. Ah. So yeah, that's just like mind blown, mind blown. This is like I said, I wish I could say I'm surprised. I'm only surprised about the timing because he hasn't
The
been there
timing is
at all.
ridiculous.
Like
Yeah.
with that whole like you need to have a schedule people can rely on. Everybody poker players are like the especially if your target is the pros, right? Like this is for like the bike. The people who are you're targeting actual pro players, right? You have to have everything set and you have to have it set for the year because they look at their entire year calendar. They have to book flights, they have to book their thing. It used to be, right? We had that thing, and I've heard Berkey talk about, I've heard some of the other pros talk about, there was what they call it the California swing, right? They do
Mhm.
LAPC, they do something, they do Legends, then they would go up and do something in Thunder Valley, and that was like on the calendar. They would do that. People came to California. Well, and I'm sure our tax laws are still the same, still taking that 7%, but
Yep. Yep.
they came,
It's the same.
filled the room, did California, did the Commerce, did the bike, went up to Thunder Valley, maybe came back, I don't know, and now not a thing. Once you're off the calendar, of course, the first couple times it's going to be tough to get back on the calendar because something else has filled your spot, but you need to demonstrate that you're better than that one and get slotted back in. People start to
Yeah.
come, right? And you can't do that in
Yeah,
one year. You can't do that in 6 months.
they had Matt Savage, right? They had Matt Savage locked in, and you can't be more successful than having Matt Savage in there.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, and then yeah, it's crazy too. It's at this point like when you're turning through tournament directors who all seem to be
The
really good
best.
at what they
Yeah.
do,
I mean,
right? And
look,
they
like you
don't
said, look
really,
at the number. They had Savage, they had Hammer, they had DJ, and now they've had Kevin, and they're all
and look,
chewed up.
yeah, look at Savage's track record afterwards. Look at Hammer's track record afterwards, right? And look at Kevin's track record even before he came. Outside of I don't know, is he ever gonna get back to us about why he's saying that dealers don't think that Kevin's
Yeah, right.
good or something? But yeah, like at some point, I guess you might have to start looking inwardly at why these tournament directors who seem to be doing fine aren't working out there, right? Is there some sort of self-reflection that kind of needs to happen about decision making and things like that? Because this doesn't, and I think our frustration, like if this were some tiny hole in the wall casino we didn't care about, like, who cares,
Yeah,
right? You should go ahead and just bury yourselves to the ground. But this is not. This is the Commerce Casino, right?
yeah.
You guys represent poker in LA. Like the bike is doing gangbusters, and Jeff is doing a fantastic job over there with tournaments. But the Commerce is the Commerce, right? You guys are like the shining star of California, of all of
Yeah,
California, right? Probably the entire West Coast.
this is LAPC.
Um,
This is the largest
yeah,
poker room in. Did they still say the world? I mean, this is the largest poker room table number of
right,
tables anywhere, right? And it's like they just
right. And it's not just the size; it's just your brand. Like your
yeah.
brand is
Well, I mean, that's the
synonymous with.
brand.
Yeah, but now I can tell you absolutely the brand is not synonymous with success in poker at all, right? I think people have a negative connotation
Yeah,
of the commerce now, and we have to start asking some questions about why that's happening. You know what? If you don't want poker there anymore and you're just doing this on purpose, I guess it is what it is. Nothing we can do about that. But geez, I
yeah.
feel like there was a lot of squandering here.
When I moved here and started playing around, I was shocked at how bad it felt to play at the in the cash room. And talked to other locals about when I started talking to other people about it. Not a single positive opinion about the cash room down there. Like there were some strong words thrown around, very poor descriptors and nicknames, and like you know. I couldn't believe it either because like I from the East Coast I'm just like all right Commerce this is gonna be great I've heard like Commerce is the place and I go in there and it was like going into the Taj Mahal late in the you know when I finally got to the Taj later on, I'm like, wow, everything at the Taj is just gross. Like, I don't want to touch the chips. Everything's like,
Right.
it's like, what is going on here? This is supposed to be the place, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's like to get back to like what poker players should do in LA, right? Like to Norm's point, we do need to vote with our dollars. But here's the thing that really is difficult, right? Like I would say, like if you're a poker player and you play a lot cash and tournaments and you care about tournaments, you need to make sure you're supporting and playing in for the cash games at places that are running tournaments, right? Now, what is tough about this is if like we should like 100% not saying guys don't go play the circuit, not don't go play commerce. We're not saying that because if we did that, then that would just give them that number. Oh, numbers are down. It's not worth having them, and then we risk losing them all, right? So it's like you can't reward them for having great tournament directors and just getting rid of them, letting them say, "Oh, these tournaments they can run on autopilot. We don't need to put effort into making sure they're high quality experiences." But we can't just disappear. They'll just disappear the tournaments. It seems like really obvious. They're just looking for a good excuse to disappear the tournaments unless something happens, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, ugh. And
Yeah,
then,
it is a
yeah,
tough spot for
Anthony.
the
Yep.
community.
Yep.
It's definitely a tough spot for the community because, obviously, as customers to these card rooms, they should be doing everything they can to get us to come, right? And if we're not coming, they need to make more effort to get us to come and listen to us about our feedback, right? But at the same time, I think, the people that we interact directly with, which are the tournament directors and the floor people, they're not the ones making the strategic decisions on whether or not poker will keep going, as Ty is mentioning. So we do probably have to have some amount of just going out there and support stuff. At the same time, Matt Savage made a really good point today. He responded to one of my tweets about, basically he was talking about too much late reentries and too many reentry periods going on for too long. Seems like it's really bad for the community. And, I responded to that like, yeah, 100% agree. But then he also responded, this has been happening in LA for a long time, but now it's starting to happen in Vegas a lot too, is that it's just like so many tournament series constantly going on, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
like basically like bankrupting people, right? And it's
Yeah.
exhaustion and we're exhausted. Like I remember like so many times even during the pod where we're like, oh, this series is starting again. And my reaction to it wasn't excitement. I was like, oh man, another one already. I need some rest, right? So I think that there is probably some amount of fatigue and
Mm-hmm.
some amount of really stretching our bankrolls,
No,
especially with the
absolutely.
high rake, right? With the very high rake like that also kind of hurts your earn and trying to get some money back to stay in action. So I think it's a tough spot for the community as well because there is sort of a whole bunch of different factors
Yeah.
involved, right?
No, we absolutely. I brought that up on the final flight of the Park West Classic. The Park West Classic at the bike. The Park West Classic is one of the best structured and best plays that we have in LA, and they keep trying to run it, which is awesome. But it just keeps doing poorly, and it actually, it overlaid this last time by like what 70 grand or something, and on the final flight, I only played the final flight because of the overlay, and I'm talking, and all the other regs were all just kind of like commiserating or they're walking by and joking around. But all the other regs in that final flight, I talked to at least 5 people, and there were definitely more head nods. Everyone was in for 5, 6, 7 bullets,
Yeah.
and you can't do that to your regs. 5, 6, 7 bullets, all of us are in for, and that's on an
In
overlay. If
one
all of
tournament.
your regs are in for over 5 bullets and you still overlaid, we have a problem
Yeah.
here. We have a problem in
Yeah.
this poker scene. Like we
Yeah.
need more people. Like if you're, as you pointed out before, if your answer to get the numbers is to do more rebuys, that's not healthy for the community. You need other people. Having the rebuys
It's
an
risk.
option, okay, great. But if that's
It's
your, yeah,
extreme risk of ruin, and also on top of that, like, are they gonna have money to go pay baccarat
yeah,
if you're doing
yeah.
that?
If that's our, if yeah, exactly. The whole point of tournaments before, right, was like, hey, come in, throw your bullet in there. When you bust, go to the other table. But now you say, all right, well now the tournament needs to make a profit, so buy in 5 times so that I can get the money in the rake there, and then well, they're not going to go play your other games, right? It's just it's so rough.
Yeah,
So
no,
what?
North taking another good point in chat too, that basically it is not only in Vegas but LA, but I think everywhere, like everyone, it feels like all these card rooms and operators are really reaching very deeply into our pockets
Yeah,
and not maybe providing the commensurate amount of value to us, right? And it's almost like they just expect that we're just going to keep coming and coming.
yep,
So in some sense, we do need to vote with our wallets, but then if we vote too hard, I think to Ty's point, you were going to basically lose tournaments, right?
yeah, yep. And Norm, that is exactly the point that Derek's made over and over and over again on this pod is that we have probably the most people and the most money of any poker community in America. Why aren't we the biggest?
Right.
Um,
Right.
what I'd
There's like
really
10% penetration into the population, which is totally fair, right? Is hundreds of thousands of people. It's crazy, like how big poker should be, and they're all sitting out there and not coming for some reason.
Okay, I think 10% is a little optimistic, but even if it was 4%, even if it's 4%, it's still the
Yeah,
biggest
even
by
more
far,
yeah,
by far.
yeah.
So I mean, all right. So here's my dream, right? Here's what I feel like. If only this could happen, we could be happy. It would be great. Like if somebody who actually really loved poker and had a lot of money and some knowledge, right? Like kind of like what say Doug Polk did with the lodge out in Texas, right? He's clearly trying very hard. Someone like
Yeah.
that here who loves tournaments were to get their hands on one of these licenses because they're limited, right? And the ones I'm looking at are like, hey, I know Diamond Gyms and Players are probably the two smallest card rooms licenses around. I've heard talk of people were trying to consider trying to buy those things out during COVID. Like, hey, what would it cost for that? 5 million, 10 million, 8 million? What would you guys sell it for? If we could just have somebody buy one of those up who loves tournaments and actually run a room for tournaments or for poker and like almost just for poker without all this other bullshit, that would be amazing. And
Yeah.
this made me sad because in my head I'm like, man, if only someone like Bill Klein wanted to do that in his retirement. And then I thought, oh shit, I haven't seen Bill around in a while. Is he okay? I actually like kind of made myself
Oh yeah.
sad there. Like I literally haven't seen Bill around all
Oh
year,
shit. Right. Yeah.
right?
Right. We haven't seen him
So
for a
like
while.
I
He's doing
mean,
great.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but like if you know Bill, like let us
Yeah.
know he's okay because we miss seeing him around and like that would
Yeah.
be huge if he's not coming around playing anymore. Like because I know
Yeah.
last year he was saying he wasn't going to Vegas as much because sticking around LA for stuff like that. So like fingers crossed. I
Yeah.
hope I'm not jinxing anybody, but like first thing I thought I was like, man, how great would it be if Bill Klein bought one of the poker rooms and just ran it to like
Yeah.
for like the ideal poker tournament paradise, right? And then I'm like, shit, I haven't seen Bill in a while. So
I'm pretty sure that, just poker, even cash games, if you were running cash games and tournaments, I really very much doubt it would be able to pay for the rent. But, there are some ideas, why don't you make it into a massive sports bar that just has like tables around it, right? And, it's kind of all together as a business. Maybe you can make it like a Dave and Buster's type of sports bar, right? Where people can also come and play games. It don't have to be gambling games, right? So many different things that you can, and since you have a license, you could probably throw some actual gambling games into that Dave and Buster's, right? So there's so many ideas that you can do to generate other stuff that doesn't necessarily have to be, this like baccarat and whatever it is, like three card poker sort of mecca with some poker tables. There's some other ideas that we can do, but yeah, if you can just get a bunch of poker heads to run it, me and Ty would be happy to come and do any advising, consulting, whatever it is that you guys need who want to get this off the ground. But yeah, that would be fantastic. That would immediately solve things. I truly believe it.
yeah, that's why someone like a Bill Klein came to mind. I'm like someone who could run that room at like no prop, just like dead break even, and they'd be happy. Like that's the
Yeah.
only way we can, and that's sad because it's sad for us that that's the situation because it just, you know, we've mentioned this before. Every time we go over, like, oh, how could it be better? We recognize it is difficult to run poker tournaments as business in LA because of the cost, because of the things. But when you have those names, when you have those other businesses, when you have the scale, we just like would like to see an effort that's more than, hey, let's get Jamie Gold to come, and then hey, when the tournament opens and we're a little nervous about people coming, how about after the first day of Reg, we get some somewhat random social media posters, somewhat random poker people that are like,
Yeah.
like maybe C level, maybe D level poker slash gambling influencers to promote our event after the first day of Reg. And then that's clearly going to get people to come in here. Like, they're going to fly right in the
Yeah.
next day. Like what, like, are you, this is so scattershot. Like where's like, if put a honest effort in, like, it's so crazy.
What? There's a lot of other people that could do this. I mean, when you think about maybe a Keating, right, or maybe a Rick Solomon, right? There's so many like people with a lot of money who play poker. That yeah, I think that might be perfect candidates, and they seem entrepreneurial in nature, right? Why not start a new poker room, right? Like the poker players poker room. Let's call it that.
Yeah. Yeah. But laws, uh, lobbyists, et cetera. It's not going to be. Yeah, that was just a dream. That was just in my head. I'm like, oh man, if only someone could come and save us. All right.
But
Well,
we don't want the Texas model in California, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because that means that we are like way overregulated. Like, I mean, yes, we're pretty regulated in California as it is, but that social club model is only because of the fact that poker is kind of banned there.
I mean, if it was doable, I wouldn't mind it. I think it is actually less rake over in general. Like on average, I think it is less rake, depending on
Oh,
which
yeah,
game you play. But
sure.
anyways, all right, I'm all worked up. That's about all I've. I think that's about all I've got to say. Was there anything else we wanted to hit on this? Is there any other topics we got? Anything else in the chat?
No, I mean, maybe we should, speculate about what's going to happen in the future,
Yeah.
right?
Oh well, first off, I'm 90%. I don't want to bet, but I'm definitely would give anyone 2-1. We're not. The circuit is not coming back next year. When they
Yeah,
got it in the beginning, we heard it was a 2-year contract. This would be the last event in a 2-year contract. I would be shocked, absolutely shocked if it comes back next year.
if I was the WSOP and I, went through all this effort to partner with one of the card rooms, the Commerce, right? And then a week before our series is about to go off, and obviously, we need um, to make sure that we're protecting the WSOP brand as well. And all of a sudden, you just kind of parted ways with your tournament director. Yeah, I don't know if I want to come back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't. I think they're probably going to mutually not finish, not come back.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would be
Well,
absolutely
yeah,
shocked. So
I'm not,
that's
I'm not,
not.
I'm
Yep.
not saying like the Commerce. I'm not saying like the Commerce wants to. Obviously, like I feel like they're,
Yeah.
going in a different direction right now. But I was just saying, if I was the World Series poker, I would not be thrilled about what just happened.
Yep. So they have, like I said, had confirmation. They've approved the dates for LAPC. So we should still have LAPC next year. Whatever. I would imagine it's going to look a lot like last year, where they took a previous schedule and just cut and paste it and hope it fits, right? And then run it just with the floors. So we will have events. We'll have events. After that, who knows? I honestly don't think the dailies are going to survive. I think they're going to cancel them again or taper them off. So that would be my guess. Speculation only. We have no knowledge. But like I went today, and we also I went today. The number, it was 99 people in there, and the Mega Millions is going on right now, which we'll talk about in a sec, real quick. But 99 is very low. When Kevin was there, like we said, it was in the many hundreds. I only went because I thought it would be almost 200. And once we reg closed, I I didn't have the old structure sheets around, but it felt more turbo than before. When I was playing those big ones over the circuit, it felt like you still had play all the way to the final table. And here, when we approached the bubble, like literally they're 99 entries. When there are 15 left, 10 pay, the average stack was 9 big blinds or a little less. Like it,
Wow.
it was crazy. Like literally the blinds doubled every 40 minutes because every third level doubled you. It was like, 10K blind, 15K blind, 20K blind, 30K blind. No, there was a 30K blind.
Yeah,
It was like they double you every three. So
but I would be surprised though if something changed that quickly. If the cabin thing just kind of happened like yesterday or whatever it was, or
yeah.
today. I don't know. I just don't think that.
Well, no, I mean, I think I heard that as like in order to bring them back, because I think Kevin petitioned hard to get the dailies back. In order to bring them back, he had to make them faster, right? Because
Oh,
part of what I heard was the bean counters looking at all the different things like, oh, poker cash games make more money than poker tournaments. Oh, like World Series, it's like, hey, we're breaking records with the number of dailies here. It's like, hey, you're taking up tables on the floor. Hey, you were taking up tables. Every table was full down on the floor, including your tons of tables for the tournament. Well, if you didn't have those tournament tables open, we'd have more cash games open. And let me tell you, the cash games over there were dead. The room was very dead. And also, let me tell you, I have a buddy who works up at the Venetian. November's just a down month, according to him. According to everyone. Like we all know that the Hold'em series usually is one of the slower series, right? November's just not. It's the holidays coming up. People are getting ready for all that. This is usually a slow month. So you can't look at numbers like that. You got to know
yeah,
your audience, and you got to know your industry, right? So these people
yeah,
coming
doing
in
things like
just
this, speeding up like tournaments to get them people to go play cash games. It's just such short term. Not even short term. It's such like first order thinking.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like what are the secondary and tertiary effects of that decision, right? So I can just tell you what's going to happen, and it shouldn't take that much brain power to kind of think it through. First of all, they're probably not going to just go and just splash in your cash games just because the tournament is over.
Hmm.
But number two, the experience is going to be so bad for them because people don't want turbos that quickly. They're actually just going to stop coming. They're not going to play, and then you're going to lose those
Yeah,
players, and they're not probably not going to come back for cash games,
yeah.
right? Um,
That's exactly what happened to
I
me.
mean, the thing is, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that anybody could think that through that I just don't know how that decision gets through. So I just always feel like when I'm speaking, I almost want to like stop myself because there's no way that somebody didn't think that through. It's not possible, right?
No,
So
they
then
they thought it
I
through
feel
in
like
first order.
I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I'm telling you, listen, this is exactly how someone like that thinks. They look at the numbers, they say, in my mind, all gaming is the same. I don't care about your experience in the tournament. I only care about your time. I only care about my ROI. I only care about the number of employees per player and the number of dollars I'm coming in. To them, once you're out of that tournament, you had the same experience if they get you out in 20 minutes because they forced you to flip every single time, or if you got to play a really good, deep strategic experience. They don't care about that. There's no strategy in casino games. They just want you out and sit in the other table because you make an extra $2 an hour than they do at the tournament table, and that's all they're
I
looking
mean,
at.
it's one of like two things. Either it's actually that level of incompetence that they're not able to get past first order thinking, and you've actually put somebody in a decision making role who can't do first order thinking, or it is a huge mega brain evil genius who's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like throw this out there, like, the movie Major League, right? Where they field like a really bad team and want them to sink,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's like Major League, right? Like this person is just playing a game of Major League, like, you know what? I'm going to try to do what I can to give the poker community some lip service,
Yep.
right? But we're just going to tank everything. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? See, it's not working and I'm going to end it. It has to be one of those two extremes because I don't, otherwise I wouldn't get why these decisions are being made at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like I said, it's just like with the stock market and the quarterly things. If a company's like not like struggling, they bring in someone else, and all the pressure from the top is produce tomorrow, produce right now, make your next quarter look better. So do everything you can that's awful for the long term health of your business to just squeeze out another dollar, right?
It. We're so excited about this investment in WSOP, and everyone
Yeah.
that we talked to, all the way up to the Spencers and the Jonathans, um, really just felt like this was going to be like when just basically a turnaround.
Yeah.
And
And
now
then
for
they
it to
brought
go
Cavan
to
in. Like it seemed like they were
yeah,
finally had the pieces. They were ready to this was ready
really
to be
they
this
really
resurgence going.
yeah, really take this off. And now, it just seems like it's going in a bad direction, and losing the commerce is not good. Like that's just not good for the community. Again, like it's not just the size, but the branding and everything else. That would just be really bad.
Yeah. So fingers crossed we still have all our series next year. Right now the only thing locked in is the LAPC, but fingers crossed. We'll see what's going on with all that. And here's the thing, like it's even in just the last 5 years that I've been watching all of this, right? It's really oscillated up and down and up and down, right? Obviously, COVID threw a big wrench in the works, but like it really feels like every time there's a switch in management or leadership, or just every couple of years, they swing back the other way. It's like it's like they can't make up their mind, so every now and then they try a little harder, then they stop, and they try, then they stop. So it's like just getting whipsawed back and forth. So
Yeah, and then like at this point, you're running out of tournament directors, like good ones, that are going to be willing to go in there and try to do something, right? Because now, I think observationally from the outside, like we don't have, like Cavan just won't give us any details on what's going on. He never will, so we're never going to really know what happened there.
yep.
But I think we can mostly kind of read the tea leaves to see what's kind of going on. Like, it seems like fighting an uphill battle to try to get the right investments into tournaments. It's not even just like financial investment. It's almost just like make decisions that make sense from a poker tournament perspective.
Yeah.
You're not even able to do that, right? Um, like who's going to want to go there, right? And maybe again, this is the major league analogy. Like you're only going to get the guy that works at the tire, painting place to come and like be your manager because nobody else is going to want to do it. I don't know.
Yep. All right. Okay, so word of caution, things aren't looking great. Hopefully they surprise us again and do something crazy that's good, but for now we're very nervous, we're very upset that they let Kevin walk or go. We're not sure what. Very, this is not looking great. So, we're going to show up for the circuit. I want to win those rings, but yeah, and for the circuit, the World Series does bring out their own tournament directors and floors, their head floors and stuff. So it should still be a fairly well run event. Not quite sure if they're going to use the app or not. We're supposedly all the circuits around are supposed to use the app, so we'll figure that out.
I'm
But
still I'm still saying no way. I'm just still saying there's no way that's going to happen at the Commerce, but maybe I could be wrong.
yeah, so we'll find all
Um,
that out. But we'll be there. Play. So like we got to support. I mean, we still definitely think everyone should come out and support and make this a great series. But
yeah.
outside of the
I mean,
tournament series, like
I'm there ring hunting, right? So I'll be there.
yeah,
Just the ring hunt.
absolutely. This could be, yeah, guys. This is most likely your last chance to win a ring in
My
LA
last
for a
chance.
very long time.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
for
And for Z Yang, if you were uncomfortable articulating whatever it is that you kind of have information on in the chat, hit me and Ty up on the socials. Hit us on the LA Poker Roundup, chat, or just come talk to us in person if you see us over the Commerce or the bike, and let us know what you think you're hearing.
yeah,
But yeah, like that would be definitely news to us and news to the
yeah,
community for
absolutely.
sure.
And if it was a typo, just let us know. We'll forgive you.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's quick move on to a couple other little things. Since as long as we're back on the air, we'll just quick hit them up. We're not going to go through all the results of everything. There's way too many. We're too retired for that. But I will mention, hey, congratulations on the Mini Mega Millions. Congrats to Joseph Lenwood Eder Johnson. There's a dash there. I'm not sure where that goes. So congratulations to Joseph there. He took first place in the Mini Mega. Congratulations to Quackley. He got second. Third place, Fausto Valdez. So look at these names, right? Fourth place, Michael Peluso. Fifth place, Cynthia Vencibi. Sixth place, Hong Van Lee. Seventh place, Yiling Wang. Eighth place, Yoon Choi, which I believe is G, right? Is that G? Ninth place is Basil Amari. So congratulations to that final table. Also, congratulations to the Park West Classic winner, Mel Gardner, Mr. Bontre. So congratulations, he's got himself a banner. It was a three-way chop. Mel definitely valued this banner because apparently he took home a little less money, but he's now immortalized in the banner. And Evan in the chat, congrats.
Yeah. Happy for Mel. I mean, he's just
Yeah, Mel's a
just
fun guy to have around
and
at the table. I
I'm
guess.
gonna tell you right now, when we got down to two tables that were killers, and he was sitting at a table full of killers, so I'm glad
Yeah, he
that
got through. He got the banner.
was able to
Mission
navigate his way
accomplished.
through. Yeah,
And then talking about the actual Mega Millions, I have no idea what the numbers are because I wasn't planning on playing it at all. But they've been sounding the overlay alert since the early flights, and as I said, November tends to be a slow one, and they overlaid fairly large, like 17% of the prize pool for the Classic, which, as we've talked about before, is typically kind of an underperforming tournament, unfortunately. But if in effort to help, and this is something I really want to see them do in the future. I mean, like, I feel like they should be doing this for all of their 1Ks or bigger. If you are coming in from out of state or considering coming in from out of state, or I even talked in the chat, if you're thinking about coming in from like San Diego or NorCal, contact Jeff Thompson. If you're coming in to direct buy into the day 2 of the Mega Millions, they will hook you up with a free room for the night that you direct buy in. So if you direct buy tomorrow, they'll give you a room tomorrow night. If you direct buy Monday, they'll give you a room on Monday night. So let them know, spread the word. Like, this is the kind of stuff you got to tell people about ahead of time, though, because once again, if someone's going to try and figure out where am I going to go to play poker in November, and they're looking at all the options and they don't know this, they're going to make their plans well before. And then when this comes up at the last minute, well, they're already in Florida or something, right? Like, so these are the kind of things that need to be like, you really got to advertise, and people got to know that they can count on this, right?
yeah, 100%.
All right, and then the last one, this is actually kind of a big announcement. We saw this, I think, a week ago. Over at the Gardens, they did announce they are going to do a winter series. We didn't think they were going to do this since Kevin was gone. So it kind of looks like they're more or less taking the formula from the last 2 they ran, doing it. But I took a look at this, and I can't remember if I was upset about this or not in the past, but man, I am upset. They did this thing, and look, we come back from New Year's, and their freaking day 2 is on Monday the 5th. Day 2 of this 500K main, the 1K, is on Monday the 5th. Come on, guys, you have the whole week of holidays, the entire week of holiday between Christmas and New Year, and you make your day 2 the first day back that everybody guarantee has to be back at work Monday. Like, the hell, man. I love when Kevin was running these. I loved these. These were great. Some of the best 1Ks of the year. I don't even, like, I'm right at this very moment when I first noticed that was on Monday, I was mad enough to just be like, not playing that. God damn it. I'm not taking another day off. I literally would just have 2 weeks off or a week and a half off for people because our company does a shutdown where like they just turn the lights out. No one's allowed to go in from Christmas to New Year. Like I've literally just been off for a week and a half, and you managed to make the day two a day where I would have to take a day vacation. I'm gonna start the year off with a day vacation if I make day two. Like what the heck, man?
I
Come on.
really, I really, we've been saying this forever, but I really implore the decision makers at these card rooms to please reach out to some people in the poker community, right? When you're making these decisions, like for example, find 5 people who have 9 to 5 jobs and talk to them about the schedule
Yeah,
because they're going to be your biggest segment of people, right? And then if you need to ask some questions about structures and what may or may not piss off a community in terms of the way that you're doing levels, go talk to some regs, right? And again, I'm not saying it has to be me and Ty, but me and Ty are really, really good resources for you because
yeah,
we do represent the community's voice
yeah.
quite a bit.
And we've been trying to think of these things for the last 2 years. Thinking about these people talk to us about what it is, like, um, and that Kevin didn't do this schedule because there's a turbo. The only turbo flight is on Sunday night, and he never does a turbo flight the night before day two, which is like really respectful of his staff and the players. Honestly, like not making people play that turbo flight late night day two, super late night right before the next day when you have to wake up and come back and play. Right. So like I don't know, man. Like, why aren't you running a turbo flight Saturday night instead of Sunday night? Why don't you run turbo flights Friday and Saturday and get your 4 flights that way? Run a flight on Thursday later in the day. I don't understand. You're gonna run a deep stack on New Year's anyway, so just run a regular day one. Like, I don't know. Like, you're not afraid of missing your 100K guarantee on this $500 tournament. Oh, those are kind of big. You're not afraid of missing a 100K guarantee on New Year's Day. So you're clearly not afraid people aren't going to come play on New Year's. So put your day one there. Like, why? I don't want to start the year off with a day off of work when I just took all the,
Let me just burn
I
my
just had
PTO.
weeks. I just had an entire week off. Most people have several days
Yeah.
off. They definitely had
It's
New Year's and New Year's the second off. Like, we just had all these days off. And now you're
it's
like,
so
take a day
obvious.
off. It's like
It's so obvious and it's so exasperating, like even saying it. Like how would you not know that everyone has burned all their time,
yeah,
right, trying to add
yeah,
to their 2 days off for Christmas and they're trying to
exactly.
bucket it with family time and all of
Uh-huh.
a sudden it's like when everybody goes back to work, you're gonna stick your day two on that day. Like, what was the
Oh,
thinking behind that? And all you had to do was just talk to anybody who had a 9 to 5 job and they could have told you.
apparently we're still having audio issues. Hopefully it's just me. Like I said, sorry guys, we didn't have a chance to test to redo a tech check when we came back, and maybe some of my settings here are off. Hopefully it's mostly just me. We didn't lose connection, so fingers crossed. It's just me getting fired up and shouting too loud into the mic, and my levels are off and breaking. That's my hope. So hopefully you've been able to hear the majority of this, guys. We really wanted to get on and talk to everybody about all this. Frank or Derek or anybody, if you guys have more insight on if the Mega Millions actually is in danger of overlaying, throw that in the chat before we close here because we're getting close. Guys, they still have dailies at Lucky Lady. They still have dailies at the Gardens. They still have dailies at Hollywood Park. Keep looking that stuff. Keep looking at that stuff. It just sucks because the show, us, we're all focused the most on the big series, the bigger events and stuff, and it's like it's getting harder and harder. It just feels like we're in danger. So we
Yeah.
got to be conscious. We have to and we have to support the ones that are good. So
Yeah. And for the people who are listening, the Mega Millions, if you don't know, is a $1.5 million guarantee. You're usually looking at somewhere between 220, 240, 250 for first place. So definitely come out and play tomorrow. There's still day one, even though it is day 2A. Just know that there are 2 flights to still qualify for day 2B,
yeah,
although it is on Monday. And yeah, it's probably going to run till Wednesday, at the minimum. So
yeah,
just keep that in mind. But still, it's going to be, really, really big one. So definitely come out if you can.
yep. Make sure they don't overlay this, guys. They already overlaid once. We don't want them to scale back. And I'm not playing because unless that table chops, I think the last Mega Millions chopped what, 5 ways, 4 ways.
Mm.
Unless they chop, it always goes to Thursday. And like I was just complaining about, that means that Tuesday, if I were to make it, Tuesday take off, Wednesday take off, Thursday I wouldn't mind taking off if I had to, but like that means I already took all those other days off, right? So,
Right, right.
yep. Frank says it's looking like they'll be able to make it. They're at 800K already, and then they've got 2 day 2 flights and a Sunday flight tomorrow, so it looks like they're gonna hit. So
Yeah.
that's good.
I'm pretty sure they at this point they've learned to do the flip and goes more frequently. So
Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Apologize about the audio issues. Hope those aren't permanent. Hope those. Jeremy says it helped him to log in and out, so hopefully that actually if people watching later, hopefully that means the audio will be okay. But yeah, that's what we got, man. That's the breaking news. If like I said, if you were already following Kevin, you saw it earlier. But man, we're here to react.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us and hanging out with us on a Saturday night. We know that you all have your own lives, but yeah, it was great. It was actually great coming back on with you, Ty.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun to get fired. It's good. See, this is gonna be nice that when we do an emergency pod, it's gonna be one where we're extremely
Yeah,
fired up.
it's
It won't be like,
gonna be
geez,
high
let me
energy
try and read
all
these
the time.
names. I didn't even play this week, you know. And guys, make sure reach out to Kevin, hit him up on Twitter's, respond to his post, hit him up on Instagram. He definitely appreciates the love. Let him know, let him feel the love. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. We will see you out there. If not soon, if not this weekend, we will see you definitely at the circuit. Being as it's the last one, maybe I'll play a couple extra too, a couple of them as well. Maybe Derek and I will get that showdown that we never got while the show was actually running. Maybe we'll enter like a 40-man ring event and we'll end up heads up. Maybe we'll get it.
That would be a fun vlog if we can get there.
All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Thanks,
Good luck
everyone.
to us. We'll see you at the tables.